there, it's Jen, and I'm excited to bring a layout to you from the Hip Kit Club using the awesome stencil that came in the April color kits. This is designed by Paige Evans. So I'm going to use that. I'm using this photo of my daughter and my niece, and look at that gorgeous sunset behind them. So I've chosen some colors of Distress Oxides. Now I know that some Distress Oxides have come in color kits in the past, but I wasn't a part of the design team then, so I'm just using what I have, but you could use whatever you have. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to use the April kits along with this because they match the colors perfectly, and I'm so happy.
Alright, so I'm starting with some of the smooth white cardstock from Basil that's in the cardstock add-on or the cardstock kit. And I'm going to put down a layer of gesso on the entire background, just super thin. I love when you just put a really thin layer. It dries so fast, especially on this smooth cardstock. For some reason, it just dries super fast. So I did that really quick, and I'm just drying it up with my heat gun, even though it was almost dry once I was done putting it on. So I'm doing a trick that I learned from Missy Whitten, which is to scrape the Distress Oxides directly on the background, and then I'm going to spray a little bit on there with some water, a bit actually. So I'm putting down a little Teflon mat, or whatever they're called, splat mat, and I sprayed a bunch of water on there, and I'm going to let the color drip all the way down. And I put the splat mat there, to protect my work surface, but also because I wanted to pick up the leftover ink when I was done. So I'm using some Distress Oxides like I mentioned, and the colors are Seedless Preserves, Worn Lipstick, Mustard Seed, and I can't remember what the blue is, but look how gorgeous this looks. I love the colors. I made a few backgrounds from this, and I think it just turned out really pretty. So I'll save those other pieces for something else. And CJ, my friend, actually made a card from a piece of one of these because she thought it was pretty too. So it was just, it's really pretty. Distress Oxides are freaking awesome. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, the other thing that's cool about them is that as you dry them, you can layer more on top of them, and it doesn't re-wet what's underneath. So you can layer really awesomely with them. So I'm just taking a little bit of modeling paste, and I'm smudging it through the stencil, and I just randomly putting a pattern on the background. Now I actually end up redoing this because I used some modeling paste that takes forever to dry, and I wanted to use one that took a little less time because I wanted to just get it done. And so I actually made another one, and here you can see it all dry, and it kind of takes on the color of the ink behind it. So even though it's just white on top of the color, it really blends in, and it just gives a cool texture. So you can see my photo there. The sunset colors match these colors perfectly. It is kind of a dark photo, but if you want to keep that color of the sunset alive, then you got to keep the photo dark. So I was fine with it, even though I do like a light and a bright photo. Okay, so now I am taking out my embellishments, and I already know that I want to embellish by color. And so I'm putting the yellow and pink things kind of to the left, and the blue and purple things to the right. And I decided to map my photo on this pretty paper from Pink Paisley from Paige Evans' Horizon collection, and it's my favorite paper from that collection. It's just so gorgeous, and I kind of feel like I made my own version of that with this background. It's kind of similar, and so I thought it would be nice to go ahead and map my photo with it. I ripped the bottom just for a little texture, and I thought maybe that I would add this Maggie Holmes like gold piece that was in the embellishment kit, but I decided against it. So I'm just looking through some of the die cuts and different embellishments to see what might work here. At the moment, my title says Happy Adventure, and that came from the Horizon thickers that have words and phrases and also shapes. And now I'm pulling out a bunch of flowers, and I'm going to, again, pile the blue on the right and the yellow and pink on the left. And so I'm just, right now, what I'm doing is just going through and deciding what might work. And so at this point I decide, well, I don't want to be moving things around the whole time. So I just decide to go ahead and get my photo stuck down because I kind of know, I have a general idea of how I want that to go. And so I'm popping my photo up on some foam adhesive, and I am just going to, my paper got pretty warped. I put a lot of water on there. And so I decided to cut it down a little bit, and I'm going to mat it on another piece of paper. And I could not for the life of me decide what I wanted to mat it on. And so I went through every single paper from the kit pretty much. And I just put every single one behind it. I thought maybe dark would be nice because that would help bring the photo out. But I didn't love it. And so I kind of like that blue color. It matches the clouds. And you can see I'm just going through every color. So then I pick up the cardstock kit again, and I'm kind of going through all of those colors, and I couldn't make up my mind. So I asked CJ, who is sitting next to me, and we decided on the pink, and I'm happy that I went with the pink. So basically what I'm going to do is put this sturdy adhesive, this is from scrapbook.com, on the background of my page, or of that whole piece of paper, and I'm going to kind of flatten it out onto the cardstock. That's a good way if you have put a lot of stuff on your background to make it flatten out a bit, is to just mat it on another piece of paper. So I'm kind of putting that down. I did it super crooked, so I had to fix it. And if you do end up putting something down really crookedly, what you can do is just rough up the edges, and then it's harder to tell because the line's not so straight. And so mine wasn't super crooked, but it was still a little bit crooked. So I decided, I like the texture of just ripping the edges of the paper, but I decided that I wanted to kind of mask the fact that I couldn't get it straight. So I'm kind of playing around with the Happy Adventure, and I'm kind of not loving the way that it's nestling together. Nestling is very important to me, and if you know me, then you know that. Or if you've watched any of my videos, because I talk about it a lot. But the way the words were fitting together, I don't know, there was something that I wasn't digging about it, even though some of the letters kind of did nestle in together. I just wasn't loving it. So I decide instead to do the word day with the cute little, what are those called, acetate letters that came in the main kit, and I wanted to match them to the background. So I thought that was fun to give it a little bit of a different look, to do the 3 different colors for the word day, and then I can kind of embellish around it. And so I'm liking the way that looks, and that's my plan for now. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of place the embellishments that I pulled out. I'm placing them all around. I'm basically placing them in a diagonal. So I'm going to go from the top left to the bottom right. And I pulled out that Dear Lizzie sticker, and I absolutely love it, that dimensional sticker. And it's like a little banner, and it matches. It has the pink and the yellow. It's like the most perfect embellishment ever. And so I put that on the on the left-hand side of the photo, and that's going to work out really nicely. So I used that same double-sided adhesive from scrapbook.com to put my foam, put on my foam to adhere my layout to the background, because you want something sturdy when you do mixed media on your background. And so I have my blue stuff on the right hand side now, and I decided to pull another little piece from that Dear Lizzie dimensional embellishments, which is that little flag banner. I wanted there to be something that was kind of similar, and so I put that on the right hand side of the photo. It has a little bit of yellow on it, but that doesn't bother me because this yellow flower that I'm going to put on the left hand side has a little blue in the center of it, so it kind of brings both sides together. And so now I'm just kind of figuring out where else I want all of these embellishments that I pulled out to go. I wanted to use the camera because my journaling is going to talk about how I love it when my sister-in-law texts me photos of our girls hanging out. And this is one of those photos. And I'm also going to use these Maggie Holmes charms that are from her newest collection, and they came in the embellishment add-on. And they are super cute. So one of them, it says XOXO, and it's kind of bluish. And then there's a floral one that's kind of purpley pink. And then I'm going to put a yellow one up at the top that says something. I can't remember exactly what it says. But I'm going to use some just neutral twine from my stash to kind of thread through those, and I'm just going to make it look like they're hanging down from my embellishment cluster kind of. And so I'm just going to play around with those a bit until I figure out exactly where I want to put them and how I want them to hang. And there's adhesive on the back of them, so they're pretty easy to just put down, and then I can let the string sort of just hang there. So those flowers that I'm putting down now, they're 2 flowers from the floral embellishment pack that came in the embellishment kit, and I just layered them on top of each other. And now I'm going to grab that yellow one and string it. I'm actually going to string it through the tag, the hole in the tag, and tie a knot at the top, just so that it looks like it's hanging from the tag. And I'm happy with the way that looks too. So those little charms are fun. So if you have a hard time figuring out how to use them on a page, a great way is to hang them from a tag or just make them look like they're hanging from somewhere else. And that's a good way. If you do a banner, that would be a great thing to use to kind of hang off the banner too. So I'm using my Nuvo glue here to just glue down my little see-through letters there, the acetate letters, and I just put the glue on the white parts of the letters so that it didn't show through. And I think it ends up looking really nice. Like you can't see the glue at all. That's kind of been my go-to glue lately. It has a really fine nozzle. It's never gotten clogged for me. It holds things down really well. And so I think that it might be my new favorite liquid glue, but I'm not sure. So I decided to put that little butterfly there, and later I will put a blue moth-looking butterfly to match it on the bottom. I kind of feel like my top cluster looks really good and my bottom cluster is a hot mess, and it's kind of bugging me, and it actually, in the final layout, I'm happy with the final layout, but in the final layout, it still kind of bugged me in the end, but it ends up working out okay. I'm going to put my journaling down there, and that's going to help balance it in a minute here. So I was thinking about adding some more hearts. I did add some heart stickers from the Dear Lizzie sticker sheet that came in the embellishment kit, and now I'm going to add some gold splatters. So I'm just basically adding it all around the embellishment, and I do let some of it get on the photo because I really like the way that the gold color shine dries on the photo. I think it looks really cool. And it's very shiny. And I thought I was going to do my journaling in black, but I remembered I had this gold pen, and so I'm just going to go ahead and write my journaling there. If you're wondering about a gold pen, I am not sure where this one is from. My friend bought it at a college bookstore, local college bookstore, and so I'm not exactly sure what it even is. But if you are really wondering, I will go find out for you. So here is the moth that I'm going to go ahead and put there to kind of bridge the gap between the journaling and the photo. And I'm just gluing down one side of it so the other side can pop up. And then to kind of make my embellishment cluster look like it fills up a little bit more space on the bottom, I added a little purple flower because there is purple in the background. And then I'm going to finish it off with these little word stickers from Dear Lizzie, and that is going to complete it. So there are some close-up photos coming up. I hope that you have enjoyed, and if you don't subscribe to the Hip Kit Club, be sure that you do, because there are new videos on this YouTube channel every single day and lots of awesome inspiration from the design team. Also, be sure to head over to the Hip Kit Facebook group where lots of people share awesome inspiring projects.